You can add a little bit more butter, drizzle a little bit more butter so they look even nicer. Hi there, it's Fernando Garcia here. Today I pick up some lobsters from the Black Angus market. And as many of us, we're kind of afraid to cook lobster at home because, if you mess up an expensive product, then you don't get it back. But I'm gonna show you some tips how to actually prep the lobsters and just cook the lobsters simple ways as you can be just in your oven, all right? And it'll come out really nice, sweet and really moist. So most likely when you order from Black Angus market, our chefs will cut the lobsters for you, getting all nice and ready for you to just get home and cook them. But I'm gonna show you just in case you wanna see how our chefs do the lobsters at the restaurant. So when you buy them, they're gonna pack it in nicely for you. And again, they're gonna be all ready and prepped, but I wanna show you how they do it so you can get an idea. First thing you wanna do is just make sure you have scissors to cut them, nice scissors. You're gonna go through the top of the shelf. Don't go too deep into the meat. You just wanna cut the shelf right on top. Go all the way down to the last segment next to the tail. Get right there. Then we're gonna open up the last segment of the tail. Crack, crack. And then we're gonna open the shelf and carefully pull the meat out of the shelf. So this is gonna be your lobster's tail meat right there, okay? After that, grab a knife. You're gonna cut all the way from the back to the front of the lobster, 2 cuts on top. So that way the lobsters will spread out nicely on top of the shelf. I like to do about 3 cuts on the back of the lobsters, just very, very small cuts, just to cut the membrane. So when you cook the lobster doesn't curl and it looks nice on the plate. So you put the lobster right, you open the tail and you got your lobster tail ready, most likely to go in the oven, or if you like to steam the lobsters, that'll be fine as well. But to me, the oven is just the easy way to do. There's times that the lobster has sand, obviously, right? Came from the ocean. So it's always to have a nice cold water and you just kind of rinse them up really quick. Cold water, that's all you need. Get the sand right on the bottom of the water. So now that you got the lobsters prepped, it's time to go in the oven and cook the lobsters. It takes about 8 to 9 minutes, no more than that. 425 degrees in a conventional oven. Before we do that, I like to put a little bit of butter on the lobsters. Just drizzle butter, just so they get nice flavor while it's cooking. And then I like to season it with whatever season you like. We have Black Angus seasoning, that is just black pepper, kosher salt, granulated garlic, or we can have clang seasoning, running off just lemon pepper kind of seasoning that you can use for that. Because you can also buy that through blackangus.com. So I'm gonna season those lobsters with some of that. Just slightly seasoning, you don't need that much. And they're ready to go in a sheet pan. And we're gonna cook those again for about 8 to 9 minutes at 425 degrees. They're about to be ready. We're gonna pull them out, see how they look, right? So we got check this out. Beautiful color on the shelf, right? The lobsters, they're not overdone. They're perfectly cooked. If you want, you can add a little bit more butter, drizzle a little bit more butter so they look even nicer for your family and friends. Again, when you buy these Atlantic cold water lobsters from Black Angus market, the chefs will prep it for you. All you have to do is just cook it in the oven. 10 minutes, you have a nice meal. So I'm gonna plate it right here. Serve it with butter, some lemons. If you wanna go ahead and do some surf and turf, obviously, order some steaks from Black Angus market, and you have a full meal. All right, guys, so here we are. We got the lobsters already baked. They look amazing. They smell really good as well. So we're gonna do a little tasting on that. See how sweet they are. I know they're really sweet. They're nice Atlantic cold water lobsters that you can get from Black Angus. So, got my meat right here, and add a little bit of lemon. Then we're gonna start. Look at that, really nice and tender, right? Get a little bit of butter. I know this is gonna be good, so. Wow, they're not overdone. Nice flavor from the lemon pepper seasoning, the plain seasoning that you can also buy at Black Angus Steakhouse. It's beautiful, beautiful lobsters. I hope you like the tips. Remember, go to blackangusmarket.com, order your lobsters, order your steaks, come home, and follow the tips to cook. It's just so simple.